Law Simplified with Justice is anchored by Justice Maduforo. Tice Madox Solicitors is results-oriented, but with a distinctive approach tailored to our clients' needs in our specialist fields: immigration law, criminal law, employment law, commercial law, family law, and contracts law. We are well equipped in our litigation and advocacy for the benefit of our clients, corporates, and individuals. Why not visit us at 5 Oakfield House, Oakfield Road, Ilford, London, IG1 1EF. We are just 15 minutes from Liverpool Street Station. Tice Madox Solicitors. Try us. We are professional.
Hello, and welcome to Law Simplified with Justice. I'm Justice Maduforo, your usual regular host. Ladies and gentlemen, I always bring the best topic on this program to discuss this with you. And this range from different areas of law that my specialty lies in. This includes employment law, includes criminal law, commercial contract law, family law, criminal law, as I said earlier on, and immigration law. Ladies and gentlemen, my strength lies in civil litigation, criminal litigation, and advocacy. This program, Law Simplified with Justice, is just a tool and a vehicle leading you to Tice Madox Solicitors. You can see Tice Madox Solicitors on the screen. The address is on the screen. Our telephone number is on the screen. This program is to get you to take action and leading you to Tice Madox Solicitors. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said earlier, I am Justice Maduforo. I am a solicitor of the Senior Court of England and Wales. I'm also a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. I am Police Station and Magistrate Court Duty Solicitor of England and Wales, approved and accredited by the Ministry of Justice through the legal aid agency acting independently of the government, but to represent my clients in the criminal matters in their best interests. And I am the principal of Tice Madox Solicitors. I have brought topics to you. Today, I will be discussing immigration law, fairness principle. Immigration law, fairness principle. Ladies and gentlemen, over the course of this program, I have discussed commercial, employment, criminal, and also contracts and other areas of law, including immigration and family law. I have kickstarted your consciousness. Today in immigration law, it's not exception. But before I continue, you must not and should not act on whatever you hear me speak and say on this program, or indeed my discussant on this program. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to discuss this topic with you. It gives me great pleasure to introduce it, because this topic cuts across all areas of law. As a matter of fact, it's an old age principle laid down as long as justice is concerned. Obviously, the opposite name of, or rather the same name of fairness is justice. As a matter of fact, that is what the court stands for. Now, the principles of fairness has been enshrined in the decisions made by the Home Office caseworkers, or Home Office itself, acting through its agents or acting through its caseworkers. This principle has been embedded in the decisions. This principle of fairness I'm talking about today has been embedded in the immigration rules, immigration policies, immigration guidance of the government, of the United Kingdom, of any other country. As a matter of fact, the Secretary of State, therefore, or the Home Office, it's an organization, a body, a public body, therefore must abide in its decisions by the principles of fairness. Fairness is a long-age decision. And therefore, which is why I decided to talk about this topic on this program. The principles of fairness in immigration law is crucial to you obtaining your leave to remain in the United Kingdom. The principles of fairness is important for you to be given one leave to remain or the other. The principles of fairness is enshrined in all the applications you want to make, or you've made, or you intend to make in immigration applications. And these applications, as you know, I talk about it because I'm a specialist in immigration applications and immigration issues. I have discussed this with you. And this fairness principle applies to applications of private life to remain in the United Kingdom. It applies to applications for family life. It applies to application that you are making as a domestic violence applicant. It applies to your application you make as a point-based system applicant. It applies to application you make under the discretionary leave outside of the rules. It applies to the application you make under whatever circumstance, be it as a visitor, be it as a tourist, whatever it is, be it as a domestic worker, be it as whatever circumstance, be it as a medical student writing the PLAB examination to come over to the United Kingdom, be it whatever tier system you're applying for. Therefore, that is what the age-long principle of fairness applies. And in the course of my applications with the Home Office, I've come to realize that the Home Office, because of its quest to refuse an application, consistently, knowingly or unknowingly, have continued to unleash unfairness in the determinations they make in the application. And that is why, you see, the fairness principle, being an old age foundation, means that if that decision has been made wrongly, you can now appeal. And if you do not have the right of appeal, the process that you commence judicial review application in the upper tribunal, if it relates to immigration application, or you commence such in the High Court of Justice, it relates to any other decisions apart from immigration applications. Therefore, in my applications or applications that Tice Madox Solicitors have continued to lodge on behalf of his clients, there has been a pattern of decisions by the Home Office. And this is why, as I said to you, I am the best in what I do. And Tice Madox Solicitors act in your best interest, and professionally too. And that is why when we see this happen in the field, we bring it and discuss that with you, and to get you to take action. It might not be you going through this process at the moment. It might be somebody else. It might be somebody else whose application has been refused, even a rightly made application of which you think you meet the requirements. Now let me tell you, a single mistake you make under the principles of immigration rules can result in a refusal in your immigration application. And when that happens, what next? That is where fairness principle comes in. Fairness principle comes in. Let me tell you something. No other firm, no other solicitor would toe this line, because you know what, let me tell you this. I am very, 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 very passionate about the law. And my firm, Tice Madox Solicitors, is also very passionate about the law. The reason is that we want to make sure, and I want to make sure, that you get your papers. I want to make sure that your application succeed. I want to make sure that you have the right of appeal. I want to make sure that that unfairness is dealt with, and in your interest, that the decision will come out in your best interest, and obviously in your favor. Fairness principle is essential and crucial. The caseworkers of the Home Office, or in this respect, call it the Secretary of State for Home Department, acting through the caseworkers who work for the Home Office, who consistently consider applications brought before them. And when they consider these applications, there is already a guidance for them to follow in deciding such applications. There are also policies which the Home Office itself continue to turn out, implementing also, as a matter of fact, decisions of the courts of record. When they implement these decisions of the court of record, it becomes part of the policy of the Home Office. And if it forms the guidance, therefore they use that guidance to consider your application. Sometimes they twist this guidance in such a way that a refusal is imminent. And when that occurs, do you want to sit down there and just accept the decision of the Home Office, hook, line, and sinker? No, you want to take the next step. And that is why you come to Tice Madox Solicitors. We are specialists when we deal with issues of determinations of the Home Office relating to the fairness principles, in relation to fairness application, in relation to fairness test applied in your application. When I consider such application, I can see that the fairness principle is completely lacking, has not been applied, or in any event, the Home Office will also suggest that they have considered your circumstance, and therefore they believe that you do not fall under this principle of which they can exercise fairness in your case. In other words, it's reasonableness. Reasonableness test is essential and crucial when Home Office makes decision. And because they are on the verge of refusing your application, they are determined to refuse the application as a matter of fact, then therefore they will summarily decide that they have considered your circumstance and you do not fall or merit the application. Your circumstances do not merit for them to exercise the discretion. As a result of that, refusal becomes the outcome. Ladies and gentlemen, at Tice Madox Solicitors, we understand these principles. We understand the enormous pressure on the Home Office to refuse in order to meet deadlines, in order to continue to withhold down on migrants, especially those from the non-EEA countries. We understand that. And that is why we are so passionate about the law, to use the principles and the instrument of the law to unleash in your favor. Ladies and gentlemen, I say this because it's very crucial. Therefore, the principles of fairness is what is essential in making these applications on your behalf. We consider these applications and ensure that it works in your favor. As I mentioned earlier, this applies to applications you make, be it applications in all sorts of applications you're making, asylum applications especially. The reasonableness test and the fairness principle must be applied in your application, in asylum applications. Whether you intend to make an asylum application or it is pending at this point, the fairness principle is essential. If it's refused, fairness principle is crucial. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're making an application as a family life, private life, application as a child, discretionary leave application, domestic violence application, whatever sort of application you're making, set-or applications, settlement applications, indefinite leave to remain applications, whatever application you're making, point-based system applications, fairness principle must be complied with. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take a quick short break. I'll return back and I'll continue with immigration law, fairness principle. Don't change the dial, remain justice.
Tice Madox Solicitors is results-oriented, but with a distinctive approach tailored to our clients' needs in our specialist fields: immigration law, criminal law, employment law, commercial law, family law, and contracts law. Tice Madox Solicitors. Try us. We are professional.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying tuned. As I said before I took the short break, I introduced this topic, fairness principle in immigration law. Now, what is the fairness principle? Which is what I introduced earlier on. Now, any decision made by the Secretary of State in this instance and that does not fulfill the fairness principle or the reasonableness test, and it will be deemed to be contrary to natural justice, it will be deemed to be contrary to equity and good conscience. And as it stands, you need a consistent and well-tailored argument in order to showcase that such decision of the Home Office is contrary to natural justice, equity, and good conscience. And how do you do so? You need to come to firms that understand how to make this argument, how to argue your case using statutory case laws, using the principles, using the case laws, using the statute. You need to come to Tice Madox Solicitors. We are not expensive. We are considerate. We are moderate in our fees. We will work out a payment plan for you. It is very essential to enable you to have your leave to remain in this country. We work out a payment plan with you. However, before you come to speak to us, for me to understand your case, analyze your case and advise you and give you options which you need to take, you must pay consultation fee. You must pay consultation fee. I repeat it again, you must pay consultation fee. It is very, very crucial that you obtain consultation fee before you begin to make any application you think is right for you. And that's why you come to me, to consider your case and determine whether or not options available for you are the right ones to take. And when you take that step, and then we will continue to advise you, make the application on your behalf, and also keep the fee to greatest moderacy that will suit you. We understand that most immigrants have this difficulty financially, but we are also concerned that you get the right and you exercise your right, that you take advantage of the law in order to regularize your stay and achieve your potentials in this country. And that is why we assist you in fulfilling our ministry of humanity in ensuring that you have your stay in this country. Do not consider financial terms and therefore decide not to tackle your status in this country. Remember, if you choose to live in this country, you must not stay at home and do nothing. You must approach Tice Madox Solicitors to regularize your stay. If you do not wish to regularize your stay in this country, you must leave the United Kingdom, because the principle that lay down in this country are laws of the land which you must obey. If you fall short of the law, Tice Madox Solicitors will mitigate on your behalf. We will mitigate and advance strong mitigation on your behalf. Human right mitigation on your behalf. Private life mitigation on your behalf. We will use all the paraphernalia of law. We will use all the paraphernalia, all the ingredients of the law to unleash an application that is sound in your favor. Ladies and gentlemen, you must take advantage of these broadcasts. Take advantage of this program. Pass the number to whoever it relates to. Your brother, sister, uncle, friend, enemies, whatever you think you have. Pass the number over to them. Get them to call us and come to the office and take the best advice you cannot get anywhere. Only in Tice Madox Solicitors. Ladies and gentlemen, you can follow us on Twitter at Tice_Madox. You follow us on Twitter. We release out all our topics there. You can follow us on YouTube. Go to Law Simplified TV. Subscribe to us on YouTube and watch our programs. And also you can type in Justice Maduforo on YouTube and catch other programs we've done in the past. You can also type in Law Simplified with Justice on YouTube. You can also catch our older programs as well. Ladies and gentlemen, you can email us, inquiries@ticemadox.com. Ladies and gentlemen, you can follow us on Facebook on ticemadox.com, on Tice Madox Solicitors on Facebook. You can also follow us on Law Simplified with Justice on Facebook. So avenues to reach us is enormous, which you can always reach us. You can check us on our website, www.ticemadox.com, and take advantage of all that we do. And instruct us, come to us. In a more relaxed, conducive environment, we can advise you accordingly. Moving away from there shortly, ladies and gentlemen, fairness principle is crucial. I'm only talking about fairness principle as it applies to immigration law, because the fairness principle also applies to matters in employment law. The fairness principle applies to matters in contract law. The fairness principle applies to matters even in family law or other areas of law that you want to engage yourself into. The fairness principle applies there, ladies and gentlemen. And that is why it's essential that you understand the scope of fairness principle. If you think you've been dealt with unfairly by your employer, if you feel that the contract of employment that you signed has been used against you, and the clause in there, we will be the one to determine whether it is unfair under the unfair terms of the contract of 1977. We will look into that to discuss. Even if you signed that contract, don't worry about that. When we unleash and take instructions from you, we will decide whether that terms, that clause, that phrase of which you signed is compatible with the unfair terms of the contract of 1977. That is why I am so passionate about the law, to use it to assist you. I am greatly so passionate about the law because I know through the law you will maximize your potentials. With the instrument of law, you will regularize to stay in the country. With the instrument of law, you will get justice. My name is Justice. Therefore, justice I stand for. Therefore, you must take advantage of that. Fairness principle, immigration law. When you complete an application and lodge to Home Office, it's essential that you complete the application well. It's essential that application is thorough, comprehensive, detailed, and also dealing with issues, expatiating on issues, dealing with on the salient point which we or you want to rely on. In an event, the application is refused. You cannot argue unfair principles of the law when you finally, at the end of the day, did not plead on this in your application to the Home Office. Therefore, it is crucial. Some application, let me tell you this, I receive from clients who watch me on this program, come to me, transfer their cases from other firms they are unhappy with, or legal representative they are unhappy with, or those of them who are representing themselves, who call them, represent themselves in person, and they know they've made mistakes. They transfer their files to me. Ladies and gentlemen, when I consider their representation that follows the application form to the Home Office, it is very clear that whoever that did this did not follow the full down, lay down argument and did not deal with issues and principles, and therefore they failed to achieve and actualize the purpose of the application. It is crucial and straightforward for me to identify that to my client, and I will say this is where you got it wrong. Do you want me to rectify this for you? It is up to them to give me the instruction. The instruction is crucial for me to take the matter further. So it is very essential, as I said. When these applications that have been made on their behalf or by the clients themselves, when they transfer this or they come to me, it is very evidently clear, clearly clear, crystal clear, that issues, arguments that are made there are so skeletal that it is very easy for the caseworker to just refuse the application. Sometimes they will state in your application that you have not raised issues of human right. They will say in their consideration, in their decisions, that they have considered your case. You have not raised any matter that they will have to exercise discretion on. They will also say that in their decisions that you have not raised Article 8, which is your family or private life. You have not raised any exceptional circumstances in your application or matters or circumstances that are crucial enough to determine your application outside of the rules. Now, the Secretary of State is expected through his caseworkers in deciding application before it to first of all consider the application within the rules. Once the application fails within the rules, they are also mandated to take their decision further to consider your circumstances outside the rules, which will include medical, under Article 8 of the Human Rights Act, under Article 3 of the Human Rights Act. They will also take it further. However, this is where the unfairness principle comes in. If you have not advanced that, if you have not detailed that, if you just make it a bullet point, your application will be refused. And clearly, their decision will be that you have not advanced circumstances persuasive enough for them to consider your application outside of the rules. That is why Tice Madox Solicitors will do for you. We will consider application within the rules and outside of the rules. Make argument on your behalf. Advance well-tailored argument. Ladies and gentlemen, the Home Office, let me shock your mind to let you know this. The Home Office, when they make decisions based on the principles and the guidance they've given them by their policies. When their policies are completely incompatible with the natural justice and equity, equity and good conscience, or in line with human rights regulations and human rights principles, which is the fairness terms, which I'm discussing with you today. The Secretary of State want to refuse your application, as a matter of fact. Put it at the back of your mind. If you are in the verge of making an application now, or if you made one now, or if you're waiting for a response now, or if you're waiting to go to an appeal, or you're waiting the outcome now, put it at the back of your mind whenever these applications are sent to the Home Office. The Home Office, acting through its agents or through his caseworkers, intend to refuse the application. Yes? Understand that. They intend to refuse your application. Therefore, you must carry them along to persuade them not to do so. And to do so is for you to advance arguments that's reasonable, arguments that are fair, arguments that are sound. But that's what Tice Madox does. That's what I do. That is what I do. At the heart of your case, at the heart of that application, is when I argue your case on your behalf. And guess what? Success is guaranteed. Now, why will you deal and argue with this case? First, the idea is that even if your case is refused, remember I said to you, the Secretary of State is completely ever willing to refuse the application. They're ever willing. The caseworkers are so inundated with applications before them that they take not even a single time to consider the application in full detail. There's been a lot of preferalia of cases and pretoria of cases ruled out by the Court of Record, Upper Tribunal, High Court, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court, European Court of Justice in Strasbourg, all dealing with fairness, all dealing with not considering application properly. Now, there's a case, in the case of Nagre against Secretary of State of the Home Department. The Honorable Justice made it very clear. And he says that inasmuch as the Secretary of State will consider the applications based on the requirement, and they should also not adopt a tick box approach. Now, let me tell you this, because the Home Office is consistently adopting a tick box approach when they deal with your applications. Now, in the case of Chikwamba, the court made it very clear, while also advancing fairness principle, where it stated clearly that it doesn't matter. The fact that this applicant can also return back to his country and still meet the rules and still come back to this country, it is essential that rather than being unfair, that this application can be considered in this country, rather than allowing the applicant to return to his country of origin and seek entry clearance to come to the United Kingdom. There's a lot of case laws read out there in court. Case laws are there. In the case of J.O. against the Secretary of State, J.O. and others, the court considered Section 55 of the Citizen and Border Act. It dealt with it critically of Section 55 in terms of the principles of the utmost importance of the Secretary of State when he considers application where children are involved, where children are a focal point in such applications. This is dealing with fairness principles. Let me tell you, these are just scratching the surface of the case laws that are there, which I, Justice Maduforo, and Tice Madox Solicitors, we have access to. We will use these case laws to argue cases on your behalf. Why would you now want to sit down? Why would you now want to test the law? Why would you not want to test the government? Why would you not want to use these case laws to help yourselves? Do not look at the financial issues. Come forth and deal with your cases. The scripture says, the Bible says, I will go spiritual as well now. The scripture says that the laws are made by God. The government are constituted authorities of God. The authorities therefore rule that law, which means they are made of God, by God. And therefore, that means that the law says, give to Caesar the Caesars, which means don't stay in the land without giving the land what the land asks of you. Ladies and gentlemen, the law of this land is clear. And the scripture says that if you do not obey the law, you will be jailed and you'll be kicked out of the country. Now, you want to stay here. And I'm especially talking to the minorities in this country. The fact that you're a minority is enough to deal and to scuttle your progress, or rather to inhibit and to bring down your potentials. But it's not enough. The fact that you're a minority does not in any way define you, but rather you define yourself. And therefore do not define yourself because you're in the minority. But when you obey the law, you will be in the majority. You will achieve your potentials. You will grow financially or otherwise. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I have been introducing and discussing this topic with you, principle, fairness principle, that is on the immigration law. I will come back next time again. It is very crucial, and I'm excited talking about this topic. Contact us on the program, on the television, on the contact you have on the screen. Contact us, and we will take your matter further from there. Thank you for watching, and I thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, ensure that you call the office and make an appointment and come to the office. I will deal with your immigration, employment, contract, and criminal matters in your best interest. Especially today, I'm discussing, or in this matter, I'm discussing immigration. I will unleash it in your immigration application and our chief result. Till next time I come your way, tune in to Law Simplified with Justice, and your time has definitely come.
Tice Madox Solicitors is results-oriented, but with a distinctive approach tailored to our clients' needs in our specialist fields: immigration law, criminal law, employment law, commercial law, family law, and contracts law. Tice Madox Solicitors. Try us. We are professional.